Okay, so the combo for the Gitrog Monster, when we're starting here, we will start with Putrid Imp on the battlefield, the Gitrog Monster on the battlefield, and Dakmor Salvage in our hand. This is how we empty our library. We will discard Dakmor Salvage to Putrid Imp. That'll trigger the Gitrog Monster for us to draw. We will replace that draw with a Dredge 2, milling over a Grim Monolith and a Bayou. This will put a draw on this track, and we'll resolve that draw, drawing this card. We will then continue this. Discard Dakmor Salvage, draw, replace it with Dredge 2. We get nothing there, so we just keep on going. Dredge 2. Nothing there, we keep on going. We just keep on going until we hit a land, resolve that draw. And then we'll mill 2. Just keep discarding over and over again, draw, and then keep going, draw. So, we are now at the standpoint where what happened is I just dredged and drew a card. I now, in my hand, have a whole bunch of lands, but most importantly, I have both Titans in my hand. So, at this standpoint, we will discard Dakmor and continue going until we have a light amount of cards in our library and discard a Titan to shuffle it back in. We are down to 1 card left in our library. We do not want to draw this card, or dredge, or discard any lands right now. So, we will discard a Titan, and that'll cause us to pick up our last card and shuffle it all back up. We will restart where we were. But we now have as many of these cards in our hand. So, if you would like to make it easier for yourself, what you can do here is take every land that you have from your hand. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 lands here. Discard all 6 lands, holding priority on each, and draw 6 cards. And then look what we have. And now we have 2 lands. We want to always keep at least 1 extra land in our hand, just in case if somebody tries to interact after we discard Dakmor Salvage. Because say we discard Dakmor Salvage, and in response we will use the example Snap, our Gitrog Monster. In response to that, we can continue to go over top and discard this other land and trigger Frog for us to continue our combo. But we will start back over where we were to get our library lower. So we start again, discard Dakmor Salvage, replace the draw with a Dredge 2. There's a land, so we will draw a card. We have finally hit a shuffler. So, since we know we have 1 in our hand still, we could continue to go through our deck until we get a lower amount, but it's always okay just to take the safer option and shuffle whenever we hit the Titan. Find all of our lands again. I'm pretty sure I threw all of mine to the bottom. But so we have more lands in our hand. We will keep the same 2 in our hand, and we'll discard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we'll draw 7 cards. See what we got. We now know we have both Titans in hand, so we can go as low as we want without having to worry about hitting another Titan. We drew another 3 lands though, so we'll discard the 3 lands and draw 3 more cards. We will just hold off from where we are right there. And we'll go back to discarding Dakmor and drawing. So now we are back down to 1 card left in our library, so we will discard our Titan and shuffle. As you can see, our library is about half of what it started out as. We have over half of our library in our hands. Sadly, all of this, what I'm doing, we have to play out. Because of the 2 titans, it is non-deterministic. So we will go back to it. Discard dakmor, trigger frog, and we'll start drawing. There's a land, so we'll draw. It is good to know that if you are doing this, you can just keep your dakmor salvage out on the field like this, and just say, I'm going to continuously discard dakmor salvage to continue to do this loop, do this combo. It is good enough. You do not have to physically pick up the card, move it to your graveyard, and then move it out of your graveyard. We will keep going. We hit another titan. So, we will shuffle back in, and from where we were, we'll just keep going. We hit a titan and a shuffle and a land. So, what we can do here is we can stack the triggers however we please. So, on first, we can put the draw trigger under the shuffle, so we will shuffle first, then draw. But right here, what we will do is we'll put the draw trigger over top of the titan shuffle. So we will first draw this card, and then we will shuffle the 4 cards in our graveyard into our deck. And now, we will keep going. We have drawn our other titan, so we can continue as we please. So how I will do it from here is I will go search for all the lands in my hand again. At this point, it is okay to pick up your stack of cards and move them over to the side. All you really need in your hand are a few cards to help you win the game. We will get to that eventually. We will just take all the lands from our hand, though. Besides the 2 that I said as earlier, and discard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 cards, and draw 15. And as we see, we draw mainly lands, so this is what we are looking for. At this point, now that we know most of our deck is mostly lands, we will go back to discarding dakmor and dredging. We have 2 cards left in our deck, so we can flip these 2 over and see there's a land, so we will discard our titan and shuffle them back. We now have a draw trigger in this deck to resolve after we shuffle. But we now know that our deck is mainly lands, so no matter how we shuffle, we should pretty much always be hitting at least 1 land per dredge. So, now that we're back to this state, we will discard dakmor and keep going. We have hit the situation where we have a land and a titan again. This time, since we have a lot of cards left in our deck, I will draw, and then I will shuffle. Whenever I started, it took me 30 minutes to get this combo completely done. We have drawn our titan again, so we will set that off to the side, and we'll keep going. We have 2 cards left in our deck, so we will dredge the 2. There's a land, we'll discard a titan, shuffle it all back in. Let's keep going. We hit a titan, we will have to shuffle our deck. This will happen, and this is why the deck is technically non-deterministic, because you can keep on hitting titan after titan with no draws until the end of time, technically. Even if it is a very small chance, the judges have to take account that that is possible, and so you may have to play it out because of that. So now, we have come to a point where we have not hit a titan yet, so we know the last card in our deck is a titan. So what we can do here is discard this Cavernous Souls. That'll trigger for the draw. We will pick up our titan, and then we will discard our titan and get back to where we were. As I said earlier, you will have to deal with that fact. The deck will require a lot of shuffling. I recommend getting really good sleeves. Again, this situation, so we'll draw, and then we will pick up and shuffle. We got to the situation where we draw our Titan again. We'll keep it off to the side over here and keep going. We have 1 card left in our deck, so we will draw it. And now we have nothing in our deck, so we'll shuffle again. We'll discard and shuffle. We have gotten to a point where we have drawn our Titan again, so we can only have 1 card left in our deck though. So we will discard our Titan and shuffle it in, and we'll keep going. Land, so we have 1 card left in our deck, so we will take this draw. Land, so we will draw. We are now at a point where we know our Titan is the last card in our deck, but we have no way of milling it, so we must discard this land that we drew and draw the Titan, then discard the Titan. We have hit a Titan and a land, so we will first make sure we draw, and then we will do our shuffle. And then we will go back to it. We have hit land, and so that means we will draw our Titan. We will discard it and get back until we hit what we're looking for, which is Titan land. So we will draw the last card in our deck, and then we will shuffle. Now, since we know what is on our deck, which is a land and a Titan, what we can do is discard Dakmor Salvage to Putrid Imp. That will require us to draw, and we'll replace that draw with the Dredge 2. We will mill over land and Titan. For a better example, we will use Kozilek for this example because it's called the Kozil-Land combo. So at this point, we now know in our deck we have land and Titan. So what we can do here is, with our deck being land and Titan, we will discard Dakmor Salvage. That'll trigger Frog for us to draw. We will replace that draw with the Dredge 2, milling over land and Titan. So we will have a draw trigger on the stack and a shuffle trigger on the stack, represented by these 2 tokens. We will have the draw trigger go under the shuffle trigger. So first, what we'll do is resolve the shuffle and shuffle these 2 cards back in. And now with this draw trigger on the stack, we'll hold priority on it and discard our Dakmor Salvage. That'll put a Frog trigger on the stack for us to draw, but we then replace the Dredge 2, milling over these 2 cards. We will then repeat for keeping the draw trigger stat under the shuffle trigger, and do this as many times as we please to get as many draw triggers on the stack as we want. With this, you can win in any amount of ways that you wish.